Hello, and welcome to this weekly weather briefing on Friday, February 17th, 2023. My name is Joseph Patton, and I'm a researcher and meteorologist with the University of Maryland at the Cooperative Institute for Satellite and Earth System Studies, or CISESS. Today we'll be talking about heavy snow and severe weather that was experienced across the United States earlier this week, as well as some quieter weather conditions expected through this weekend. But there'll also be a mix of hot and cold weather for next week that could bring some heavy snow and severe thunderstorms. Heavy snow and severe weather conditions were experienced by many across the United States from the last few days. This system brought a band of heavy snow up to 2 feet in some areas of the mountains from the Colorado Rockies and New Mexico Rockies all the way into the Great Lakes region, bringing with it some cold and snowy conditions across that area. In addition, on the warmer side of this system, there was some severe weather experienced from the deep south all the way into the mid-south that included some tornadoes, which storm chasers were able to both capture the wall cloud ongoing and some damage resulting from those storms.
Looking at the GOES East or GOES 16 long wave infrared imagery, we can see that there's a large trough which is exiting the eastern United States. We've got winds the jet stream sort of dipping down towards the southern half of the United States and then lifting out eastward. And we can even see here's the remnants of that active storm system that brought that heavy snow across the central United States. It's making its way offshore today, but it's still bringing some heavy snow and even some lightning to some parts of upper New England, including the state of Maine. From this visible satellite imagery from the GOES 16 satellite, we can see that there's plenty of snowpack still on the ground across much of the Central Plains from a heavy winter storm that impacted the area recently. As this animation moves forward in time, we can see that some of the snow starts to evaporate or sublimate into the air, and those white pixels start turning darker into gray shades, as we can see on the visible satellite imagery. The visible satellite imagery from GOES 16 also shows that there's a fair amount of lake ice present in the Great Lakes region. These white shades here show that we've got plenty of ice pack that's still present on the surface of some of the Great Lakes. In fact, we can even see some of it drifting slightly southward with the lake currents, as we can see these little wisps of white. Those represent ice that the satellite can see. So this is some really interesting movements that we can see on these satellite imagery. Focusing in on that storm system that's leaving the northeast United States, we can see that there's some strong convective activity which is going on just offshore, where the waters are a little bit warmer than the air temperature would be over the land. So there's a little bit more support for the development of thunderstorms, and we can see some of that lightning is showing up. These little blue dots that show up here are lightning that's being detected by the geostationary lightning mapper. So it's a satellite that we have in orbit that's specially tuned to find these lightning strikes and look for optical sources of bright flashes of light. And we can see some of those bright flashes sticking up through the clouds with this convective system, which is leaving the eastern United States today.
The current weather hazards as of Friday evening are relatively quiet. We can see that we do have some winter storm warnings and some winter weather advisories for the system that is wrapping up in Maine and exiting off the east coast of the United States. But for the most part, there's more quiet conditions settling in as that trough continues to push eastward, and clear conditions are felt for most of the central United States. Looking ahead into next week with the 3 to 7 day outlooks from the Weather Prediction Center, they show that heavy snow is expected across much of the northern United States, from the east coast all the way to the west coast for some areas, as well as much below normal temperatures accompanying that, which reinforces the idea that there could be some heavy snow in that area. Unfortunately, severe drought and high wind conditions continue for portions of the desert southwest, so that's something to keep an eye on as we get towards the warmer temperatures of the summer. But for now, it looks like there could be another burst of cold and snow across much of the northern United States. Finally, looking farther ahead into March with the 8 to 14-day outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center of the National Weather Service, there's a high confidence for below normal temperatures and above normal precipitation for the west, which seems to be continuing a streak of possible heavy snow for that area into the 1 to 2 week time frame. In addition, there's much warmer than average temperatures expected for much of the southeast United States, encompassing from Texas to the Carolinas. And then, in addition, that coalescence of above normal precipitation chances and above normal temperature chances in the mid-south could bring some possible thunderstorms to that area, even stretching into the Midwest. So that's something to keep an eye on for looking ahead into late February and early March.